Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are jumping right into one of the most dramatic, cinematic scenes in all of ancient literature, Deuteronomy 5. Look, this isn't just reading a dusty list of rules. This is a wild narrative about a divine encounter, pure human terror, and forging a foundational code for an entire society.
The text makes it incredibly clear right out of the gate that this is not a quiet boardroom meeting. We're talking about an earth-shaking encounter at a burning mountain in Horeb. It says the voice came out of the midst of the fire, of the cloud, and of the thick darkness. Imagine the sheer sensory overload, a massive, booming voice literally cutting through roaring flames. It totally sets the stage for ultimate authority.
Okay, so that brings us to Section 1, the covenant at Horeb.
Here Moses makes a fascinating rhetorical move. He tells the people, "The Lord made not this covenant with our fathers, but with us, who are all of us here alive this day." He is completely collapsing the distance between the past and the present. He's basically saying, hey, you aren't just inheriting an old tradition. You are the active, living participants in this divine agreement right now.
Let's move right into Section 2, the 10 Commandments.
When we actually look at this famous code, it neatly divides into two main themes. On one side, you have strict duties demanding loyalty to God, like keeping the Sabbath and rejecting idols. That establishes the vertical relationship between the human and the divine. But then, the focus shifts to the horizontal relationship, the ethical treatment of your neighbors. This includes honoring your parents and strict rules against theft, murder, and deceit. Together, it creates a comprehensive framework for both spiritual fidelity and social harmony. And what's really amazing is how expansive these rules actually are. Just take the Sabbath law. It doesn't just mean the head of the household gets to relax on the weekend. It specifically demands a seventh day of rest for absolutely everyone down the social ladder. Literally, even the working donkey gets a mandated day off. The text grounds this entirely in empathy. Sharing the memory of escaping Egyptian bondage becomes the moral foundation for making sure absolutely no one is overworked.
Which naturally leads us to Section 3, Fear in the Mediator.
As you can imagine, hearing these sweeping commandments booming out of a literal inferno was completely overwhelming. The people approached Moses in absolute terror, asking, "Now therefore why should we die? For this great fire will consume us." They recognized this terrifying paradox. They heard the voice of the living God and somehow survived, but they're convinced that a second time will absolutely destroy them.
So, to survive, they propose a new system. Instead of the whole assembly enduring this direct, fiery voice, they want Moses to step up as a permanent middleman. Moses goes near the fire, God speaks the rest of the rules just to him, Moses comes back safely to teach, and the people promise they'll listen and obey. They're actively choosing a mediator to protect themselves, an arrangement God actually praises and accepts.
God agrees, sends them back to their tents, but leaves Moses with an uncompromising final command for the group. Ye shall not turn aside to the right hand or to the left. It is a strict, narrow path forward, quite literally forged in the fires of Horeb, which leaves us with a final thought to ponder today. If their survival, order, and prosperity require walking such a strictly defined path, delivered through such terrifying majesty, what happens to this community when they inevitably begin to wander off it?